Hi everyone, it's Maria from Pattern Paradise. Today we're going to be working this very festive headband with Christmas trees on it, and it is a graphic design. The back of the band is just plain, in this case white, and the design is strictly on the front. Now the way I've worked this, the three trees are split evenly along the full headband. So you'll be chaining a certain amount of stitches, a certain amount of chains based on the size that you want to make. And then you'll be starting the headband, and then at some point I will tell you to start the graphic design. In order to do the graphic design, you will need the chart. So the pattern includes written instructions as well as the chart. And if you're not familiar with how to read a chart, I do have a tutorial which I'll link at the end of this video. But basically, to work with this particular chart, you'll need to understand the key. The key shows you the colors and the color changes that reference the design within the blocks. Each block represents one stitch, which in this particular pattern is a front post double crochet. And each color is represented here by a number. So for the example that I'm going to work through with you today, my color 1, which will be the background color, will be this ivory-ish color. My color 2, which will be my trees, will be this green. And then the base of the tree, which is color 3, will just be a little bit of this brownish color. Okay, so let's get started. The way I've designed this pattern, you start out with a beginning chain in whatever the designated number of stitches is for the size you're working. For this example, I'll be working the toddler size, so I'll be chaining 65. And then the pattern asks you to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then the next 12. So to save some time, I've done that already. So I've done my beginning chain, and then I double crocheted in the 4th chain from the hook and the next 12. At this point, the pattern tells you to start working the graph. Now, in order to read this graph, if you're a right-handed crocheter like I am, you would read it from right to left. If you're a left-handed crocheter, you would read from left to right. The way you read it is to read across from here, and each block represents one stitch. So the first block in this particular graph is a white block. So white tells me it's color 1. So I'll be doing a white front post double crochet. Same thing for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then I'll be changing to the next color. And then picking up the white again, or the lighter color, and continuing that. Because I'm working in the round, when I get to the end of the round, I'm going to join and then chain 2 to move up and start here again. If you were working in rows, you would end your first row here and then turn and read from here to here for the next row. But we don't have to worry about that since we're working in rounds. Okay, so this chart is telling me that I'm going to do 4 stitches in the lighter color, color 1, which is this ivory color for me. So let's do that. Now I'm working my beginning round in the back bump, so that's where I'll work these 4. And you could work it in any one of the loops. I like the back bump because it gives it a nice finished edge. So we've got 4 double crochets, nothing exciting so far. Except in my 4th one, I'm going to end it before the final loop so that I can do a clean color change. And what I do here is I just pull the new color through and finish the stitch with that color. Okay. Now the pattern graph tells me that I have 1, 2, 3 blocks in this color. So again, I'm going to do 1, 2, and then 3. Now the final one, again, I'm not going to finish because I'm going to pick up, and in this particular case, I'm just going to move this brown to the side, and I'm going to pick up my lighter color to finish that stitch. Okay. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more double crochets in the lighter color, and then I'll be repeating the tree base. I'm going to stop us here now and finish this round. and then I'll pick up again with the joining of the round and with the next round. Okay, now here we are. So let's review what we've done so far. We chained our beginning chain in the designated number of chains based on the size that we're working. We worked the amount of double crochets in however many stitches the pattern told us to work for our size, and then we started working the graph. So the graph really works from here to here. That's the actual graph. So you see you have the three bases of the trees with some of the color 1, the ivory color, in between. Okay. Now I've been telling you that we're working in the rounds. However, as you can see, this is really a row. It's not connected as a round. You can do a beginning chain and join it to make a circle and then work your stitches accordingly. However, I find it easier to just work the first round as a row and join it at that point, and then continue in rounds after that. So I'm going to just join my round here to the top of the beginning chain 3. And then at the end, when I'm all done, I'll just use this little tail to close this off, and it'll be a perfect seam. Okay, so here's where we start working our front post double crochets. So to get to the next round, I'm going to first chain 2. This does not count as a stitch. This is simply to just give us a little bit of height. And then I'm going to work a front post double crochet in each stitch of the first 14 stitches, which for my size, that's what gets me to the beginning of the chart. And then again, I'll be working the chart as indicated. So to work a front post double crochet, you yarn over, you work around from back to front around the stitch, not into the stitch as you normally would, and then you complete your double crochet as normal. So let's try that again. Yarn over, insert your hook from front to back and then back to front so that the stitch is in front of your hook, and then complete your double crochet accordingly. Now again, I'm working the toddler size, so I need to do 14 of these stitches, and then I can start on round 2 of my chart. So I'll be back in a moment with you when I'm ready to start the chart. Okay, so here we are. We're back at the beginning of the chart. Now, when you're working different colors like this, you can create little bobbins, which is really just a piece of cardboard or something like that, where you wrap the yarn around and it just sort of hangs in the back and it keeps your work neat. But for such a small chart, I just actually just work the individual pieces and snip the yarn at each color change and then just weave it in. If it was a bigger piece, I would definitely carry it forward and work over the whatever color I'm not using. But again, for this piece, I just have these loose ends that I'll be picking up as I go to the next section, and then at the end I'll just trim them and weave them. So now here we are at the beginning of round 2. Round 2 starts over here, and you can see once again the first 4 stitches are the ivory color. So I'll be doing 4 front post double crochets in the ivory, then I'll be switching to the brown again and doing 3, switching to the ivory and doing another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, switching to the brown, doing 3, and so forth to the end of the pattern. And then I will continue with the ivory to the end of the headband and do my join. Okay, I'll meet you right back here as soon as I'm done with that. Let's continue with the graphic pattern. So I'll be doing 4 front post double crochets in the ivory. And remember, I'm going to do 3 full ones, and then the 4th one I'm not going to complete because that's where I'm going to do my color change. So I do it through that point, and then I pick up the color from the previous round, and now I continue my 3 in the brown color. Again, don't finish the last one. Pick up the ivory, complete that stitch with the ivory, and then continue working the ivory per the graph to the next color change. I'll meet you right back over here at the end of round 2. Okay, and we're back. So I'm at the end of round 2, and now all I need to do is to join it. Now I just wanted to show you this. So when you join, because we had that beginning chain 2 that doesn't count as a stitch, when you join, you're not joining to that chain 2, you're actually joining to your first front post double crochet. So just join in those 2 loops and you're ready to go with the next round. Okay, so this next round, again, we're going to chain 2. We're going to work our first 14 stitches in the ivory color, and then we're going to refer back to our graph to see what the next piece would be. And in this case, the next color is color 2, which is the green, and you'll be working 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 green stitches, 1 ivory, another 11 green, 1 ivory, and 11 green. And then you'll continue with the ivory to the end of the headband. The rest of the rounds will be continued in the same way. You'll chain 2 to go to the next round, and then again following the graph, you'll do your color changes and your front post double crochets all the way to round 8. So let me get you to round 8, and then we'll meet back here for the finishing touches. Okay, here we are. So we have most of our headband completed. I've completed all of the rounds of the graph. So I have all 3 trees completed, and then the final round is just one plain round of the ivory single front post double crochet. And then we have this cute little edging on the top and the bottom of the band. Now this is just a crab stitch, or if you don't like doing the crab stitch, you can do a twisted single crochet. I have a tutorial on that as well. So let me show you how I did this. Now normally I would have done this in the color number 2, which would have been the green, but I thought that the brown gave it a nice finish, so I'm going to use brown for this particular one. So I started in the center back where you ended your headband, and simply joined the yarn with a chain 1. Okay, and then to do a crab stitch, normally what you would do is go 1 stitch to, in my case, the right, because I'm a righty. If you were lefty, it would be to the left, and complete a single crochet. And then you would work in the next stitch, and so on and so forth until you have your completed band. And you see this gives you a nice little sort of rope stitch. However, for this one, I changed it up a little bit. I wanted to give it a little bit of a different look and a more extended ridge. So I'm going to chain 1 and skip 1 in between each stitch. So I have my join here and a chain 1. I'm going to skip 1, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. And so I'm going to continue in that way all the way around, join it, weave in all my ends, and then you just have to embellish your headband however you choose to, or leave it plain. It looks great plain too. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.